Hey everybody, it's me again, Moody Boo, and I'm back with doing a video I haven't done in a long time, and that is a top 5 video. And I do a lot of collaborations and stuff, but I haven't really done a favorites like this kind of video except for with my son recently. So I thought I'd do things a little differently. I'm going to do a top 5, and these are my top 5 floral perfumes, what I consider mostly floral perfumes. And whenever I do these top 5 videos, I'm going to put them in 5 of one of these various categories that I've got listed here. So I think I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 categories, so I'll use 5 of them for my top 5. So there's classic, modern, sexy, unique, everyday, special occasion, inhuman, and universal. And when I say inhuman, I mean a perfume that most humans would never wear. You have to be an extraterrestrial. And universal is, of course, something everybody would wear. So, like I said, it'll be 5 of these categories that I'll choose. And the first one I'm going to talk about is what I consider kind of a classic perfume. So this one surprised me because it's from a designer house that I never thought I'd find anything that I'd love from it, but I do. There's a couple of them I love, and this is from the collection from Boss, and this is Silk and Jasmine. And the notes on this, I'm going to kind of make this quick, is honey, jasmine, vanilla, and cloves. And honestly, I put it at the classic because the jasmine is not very indolic. And because of the cloves and the honey, it gives it this kind of classic smell, this kind of old school 80s kind of a smell to it, but so much better because then the vanilla really sweetens it up and modernizes it, in my opinion, but it still smells very classic to me. And again, that's Boss Silk and Jasmine. Kind of mid-range for the price. I mean, for Boss, usually their perfumes are really inexpensive, but that is in the expensive category of their house. The next one that I was going to talk about is one that I find it's very polarizing, which really surprises me. And I put it in the modern category. And this is by Atelier Cologne, and this is Blanche Immortelle, or Immortelle. This one, people either love it or they hate it, pretty much. And a lot of people really hate this stuff, and I don't see how. It's all about this beautiful or immortal, a very bright immortal, a very optimistic kind of immortal smell. So it does have that maple syrup kind of vibe to it, but there's a brightness to it, a real freshness that isn't with most of those immortal maple syrup kind of perfumes. So this one is Mimosa, Mandarin, and Calabrian Bergamot. That's probably where the brightness and the optimism comes from. Middle notes are Immortal, Jasmine, Sambac, and Turkish Rose. Base notes are Patchouli, Vetiver, and Australian Sandalwood. And I think it's the Vetiver that really gives it, the vetiver and the citrus notes that really give it this brightness. This almost has a slightly soapy, like a clean soapy kind of smell to it, which I don't usually like, but I love it with this. I'm crazy about this stuff. Performance is insane with me anyway, with the Atelier Cologne Blanche Immortelle. And this, of course, I got when I was in Hawaii. So pretty much any perfume that I pick up in Hawaii ends up being on my favorites every time, all the time. So I have a ton of this stuff, so I will have it for the rest of my life. Good thing, because I love it. So that was from my modern. The next one is from the sexy category. And excuse me if I say this poorly, but this is Intense by Boadicea the Victorious. And I love these bottles. Really do. This one, wow. That's actually what I'm wearing right now. And I think a big part of it is because of the honey. It's a very animalic honey. But it's, let's see. It says it's a modern composition with a fruity twist, has a rich woody background of vanilla and honey. The heart is floral made of rose, white lily, tuberose, and jasmine. And seriously, this is all about the honey and the white flowers to me. It is so much, it's such a skanky kind of a tuberose and a really indolic kind of a jasmine. And the lily is slightly rotting, you know, on the water. It's I'm surprised because at first when I got my decant of this, I didn't care for it much. I'm like, oh, that's way too floral. Oh my God, no, 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 no. But after putting it on and letting the heat make it bloom, it was incredible. And now I just can't get enough of it. I went through my decant. Actually, I let it set for quite a while. It was like 2 months before I actually went back to it after saying no to it the first time. This was definitely a slow burn kind of love. And this was a 5 ml decant, and this stuff is strong. It is beast mode. So that 5 ml decant, though, I went through it in like a month, month and a half. And for me, that's pretty quick to go through a decant. So finally popped for the bottle. Fairly expensive, but worth it. Especially if you can do a split, I would recommend. It is naughty. It's very, very naughty, but it's beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, I just love it. My husband, you know, I call it sexy. To me, it's sexy. I haven't really tried it on him. He's not a big floral kind of a person. He likes more of the gourmands or the oud. He's crazy about oud and musk. Oh my God, musk makes him go nuts. But he's not big into the florals. So I've been a little reticent to, a little hesitant to try it on him. But I think I'm going to have to because I consider it very sexy. I also consider it pretty feminine. So try before you buy. The next category is unique. And I consider this perfume very unique. I don't know if everybody else does, but this is my review, and so I calls it the way I sees it. This one is another one that I find a lot of written reviews are very polarizing. People love it, but then some people really hate it. And I happen to be on the love side. And again, I'm just getting into the white flowers. I have been fearful, almost phobic towards white flowers for many, 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 many years. But I am discovering the skanky, delightful, sweet beauty of them. So this one, did I even tell you? No, I didn't. This is Majda Bakali Fusion Sacré for her. And this one is coffee, bergamot, mandarin orange, coriander, rhubarb, and black currant. Middle notes is fig, gardenia, orange blossom, tuberose, jasmine, clove. Base notes are Canadian fir, vanilla, tolu balsam, heliotrope, cedar, amber, musk, and patchouli. And honestly, for me, it's all about the coffee, a little bit of fig, and tons of gardenia and tuberose, and a little bit of jasmine in there. It's so bizarre because it's like this coffee, white flower kind of a perfume. God, it's really, really beautiful. It's almost gourmand. It's so close to being gourmand, in my opinion. But there's a little bit of naughty. Now, as opposed to the Boadicea, where this is, you know, this is naughty. This is like one of those S&M clubs kind of naughty, sort of white floral. You know, this girl is wearing a leather bra and such. And this girl is in white frilly lingerie, drinking a cup of coffee. So, that's my humble opinion. Performance is pretty good on this. It projects really well for about an hour, comes close to the skin, but it's still, you leave a good sillage, you leave a good wake behind you, even when it comes close. It lasts pretty good too. And the price range is about mid-range for niche. So Majda Bakali, Fusion Sacré for her, coffee and white flowers. Weird, unique, and definitely one of my favorites. Last but not least is I'm putting in the everyday category, and this is by Miller Harris, and this is Fleur Oriental. And this one I had tons of decants of. I acquired a whole buttload of this, and honestly this was another one I kind of left to the side and didn't even mess with these decants and samples for like 6 months or something before I dug into them and realized I used up those decants. Well, I gave a couple of decants away, but I used up most of them and popped for a bottle, and I finally started into my bottle. And that's thanks to Mindy over at Min, New York. She really turned me on to this. She was the one that gave me the first sample, or, sample she sent was almost like a decant. Really nice stuff. So Fleur Oriental by Miller Harris is carnation, orange blossom, amber, musk, Indian jasmine, vanilla, Turkish rose, and heliotrope. So, and out of all of those notes, it's all about the carnation and the heliotrope to me. It has this kind of tropical feel to it. It's just beautiful. Now this is a Miller Harris, so, and in my experience with every Miller Harris I've ever tried or owned, this is an everyday scent. You can wear it daytime, pretty much doing anything. It's a little sweet for working out, but whatever, where would you want? And but the performance is really pretty close to the skin, and it doesn't last crazy long or anything. It's like I get 6 hours. It's about a foot out. When you first spray it, it's bigger, but it comes close really quickly within 30 minutes by the time you're ready to leave. Or if you spray it under your clothes, you're good to go. So, and so it's very light. Now, it's listed as an eau de parfum, but it performs like an eau de toilette. It really does. But it's beautiful stuff. And this is my favorite everyday scent in the Fleur department. So those were my top 5 flowers in my categories of classic, modern, sexy, unique, and everyday. And I'll be back soon to do other top 5s. All right. I hope y'all have a good summer. Stay cool. Peace.